All right. Ooh, it's time to learn, my boy. We got ourselves another theory. This is from Harry Potter, but this is also a Patreon request from Gigi. This is an EXO theory, how EXO's music videos are connected. I love to learn. So let's get to learning. Have you ever wanted to watch more videos than the thousands of ones that are already on my channel?
Hell yeah. How I do that? Huh? Tell me.
You know, like the ones that I can't show on YouTube? I got you. I have a Patreon with 3 tiers. This is what you will get per tier. Those of you like to read it. Honestly, I love it. We be going crazy on the Patreon, but I'm gonna let you be the judge of that. So y'all go ahead and check out the Patreon and let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting, and thank you for everything. Now, let's get back to the video.
Danger,
Hey.
danger.
Hey.
알람이
Ooh.
경고해 거기서
Ooh.
멀어져야
Ooh.
해.
I hope y'all having a good day today. Woo! All right, let's go.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Today I wanted to share my theory regarding how all of EXO's old music videos are related and how I think this next comeback will fit into the story of their universe. The leading theory for this concept of their next comeback is that the members of EXO were cloned and their doppelgangers are being influenced by a force of evil to fight them. Confused?
I kind of don't think that. Wait, this came out when? What year did this come out? This came out in 3 years ago. So that means it came out in 2019. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Whoa.
Hopefully this video will be able to explain how EXO got to this point and what I think is going to happen to them next.
Okay.
EXO debuted on April 8th, 2012 with the release of their song Mama. The group debuted as 2 subunits, with EXO-K being comprised of 6 Korean members who sang in Korean, and EXO-M being comprised of 4 Chinese members and 2 Korean members who sang in Mandarin Chinese. 2 versions of Mama's music video were released, focusing on the members of each subunit. The video explains how the members of EXO were from another planet and had superpowers bestowed to them by the Tree of Life.
Do y'all think there's aliens that live amongst us? Like we been had like aliens that be living with us. You know how like they said in the US, they're like, oh, we got extraterrestrial activity and stuff like that. But do y'all think like I don't know. What would y'all do if y'all found out that y'all are the alien? I'm not gonna lie, I go crazy. I be start using my powers and shit, man. What?
Their superpowers are as follows. Kai has teleportation, Sehun has wind, Dio has earth or force, Baekhyun has light, Suho has water,
Hey.
Chanyeol has fire, Xiumin has frost, Chen has lightning, Lei has healing, Chris has flight,
Jesus.
Tao has time control, and Luhan has telekinesis.
What do y'all think is like the most powerful power? I'm gonna be honest. I think water is like the most powerful power. I kind of do think like on land, water is like scary as hell. You know what I'm saying? The ocean is mad terrifying, bro. You could do crazy damage with water. Fire, I guess, but it can be extinguished with water. You know? You gotta be kind of scary to scare off the scary shit. Think about it.
The videos also explain how something called the Red Force is after EXO's powers, and is trying to attack the Tree of Life to get them.
What is love? I don't know.
What is Love represents the beginning of EXO, as we see the members first together. This was EXO's first pre-debut release, and although they released both an EXO-K and an EXO-M version of the song, all the 12 original members of EXO were featured pretty equally in the music videos. There's a lot of references to their powers throughout the music videos.
There's a lot of music videos
For
I haven't
example,
seen.
Chanyeol finds stones with the symbols that correspond to some of the members' powers, and compares them to writings found in a book. This is also the first time we see imagery relating to the moon and to eclipses, which will be really important in future music videos. We see a board behind Luhan with the phases of the moon behind him, and towards the end of the music video, the members see an eclipse happening. I think that in this music video, EXO knows that
The
an
hair
evil force
kills
is coming
me.
to threaten them. thereby threatening their powers. In this music video, we see some of the members attempting to learn more about their powers, but we also see them enjoying each other's company. At this point, they've realized that the split between their two groups is inevitable, which leads us into the Mama music video.
Mama, let's go.
The Mama music video explains the reason why EXO had to split into two different groups in the first place, and gives the circumstances for when they can be reunited. EXO's members had to split the Tree of Life in order to protect it, but in doing so, they created two parallel worlds, with the members of EXO-K protecting one, while the members of EXO-M protected the other. The narration states that EXO will stand on the same ground, but will see different skies, which can refer to the time they spent on their parallel planets. It also says that they will stand on the same ground, but will see different skies, which may refer to the time they spend on Earth separated from one another, but I'm getting ahead of myself. It states that EXO will meet on the same ground under the same sky when the Red Force is purified, which is what I think we're going to see happen in this next comeback. The music video itself starts with all the members united in some sort of chant, which I believe is used to break up the Tree of Life. From that point, it seems like EXO-K and EXO-M are separating in terms of physical space. For example, Suho and Chumin and Baekhyun and Lay are able to see each other through mirrors. This indicates that they are now in separate but parallel locations, indicating that their goal to split the tree was successful,
This is hella
but that the
deep.
groups would not be united for a while.
This is hella deep. History.
During the exposition of the Mama music video, as the Tree of Life splits, some sort of crystal emerges from it. We see this crystal at the beginning of the History music video, as it's being hurled into outer space. Even though we only see one of each crystal in each music video, I think that there were two in total, and each one ended up morphing into the parallel planets. Unlike What is Love, this focuses more on the members of each subgroup, which is likely to demonstrate a bigger sense of separation now that they see the same sky but stand on different grounds.
Power comic. Let's go.
In the physical release of EXO's fourth album Repackage, each album came with 1 out of 16 panels of a comic strip. When put together, this comic tells the story of 8 of EXO's members going on a mission. The story begins with Baekhyun in the middle of some sort of water body, presumably on Earth, which we see happen at the very end of the Power music video. It then goes on to show how the members plan to attack some sort of group of fans in order to retrieve an object.
This is kind of funny.
But when Suho goes to open the last van, he finds himself unable to do so. The story ends with Baekhyun back on Earth in the middle of the water, realizing that something has been wrong since the beginning of their operation.
Oh.
My guess is that this operation results in them losing their powers temporarily, which is further explained in the Power music video.
This is very deep. I like this.
In Power, we see an 8-member EXO reunite on what seems to be another planet in order to prevent an agent of the Red Force, RF-05, from destroying it.
I have not seen this.
We see 7 of the members fighting this creature, interestingly enough, with guns instead of their powers, indicating that their powers were somehow impaired. Later in the video, we see EXO's members each picking up an orb, which somehow seems to be connected to their powers. All of the members are holding their orbs, and their watches start to glow until a cat comes in and presses a button, and they all turn to cartoons, which I still don't really get.
What the hell?
But after that happens,
God.
Baekhyun, who, by the way, has been absent for like the entirety of this music video,
Jeez.
comes out and presses the button to get his own orb, which he then uses to create something that strongly represents a solar eclipse using his light powers. This restores the other members' powers, and we see the 8 of them going to fight the RF-05 agent.
I'm not gonna lie. I would think Bacon is probably like the secret, what's it called? The secret evil man. Cause why the hell you come out of why you randomly come at the end, yo? Why you come at the end, huh? Why you holding that cat, huh?
But then the video cuts to Baekhyun falling into the water.
Oh, never mind.
My guess is that both the premise of the Power comic and the music video were a trap for EXO set up by the Red Force. I think that it was intentional for all of them to end up back on Earth, but to be separated, so that it would be easier for them to become targets. I also think that this could have happened for the Red Force to gain a better understanding of how EXO's powers worked, in order for it to know how to steal it for good once the timing was right.
Pathcode teasers lead
In
up to Call Me
preparation
Baby.
for EXO's second album release, EXO released 10 teasers, one per member, with each member in a different city.
Hey.
And all of the cities, when put together, when you take the first letter of all of them, would spell out the title track for their second album, Call Me Baby. In Tao's teaser, we see a newspaper headline that reports 10 comets landing in 10 cities around the world. We see all the members having control over their powers again, but it looks like they're not as comfortable with using them as they were in the past. For example, in Chanyeol's teaser, it looks like he accidentally ends up burning an entire forest.
Jesus.
And in Suho's teaser, it looks like he's having a hard time controlling how much water will flood in. We also see certain things that might represent hints as to what is to come for EXO. For example, Chen is reading a book called Overdose, which makes me think that EXO might actually be aware of the Red Force's plan to clone them before it actually happens. Also, in Suho's teaser, we hear some sort of communication device going on in the background, which to me sounds like something used during an operation mission.
You know, this is definitely like calling for a EXO discography stream. In due time.
Like what a SWAT team would use, such as the one in Lotto. The Mama music video mentions that time will be warped until they reunite, which is why I think EXO's members are able to get hints of what is to come in the future. In Chen and Sehun's teasers, we see what appears to be another eclipse about to take place. In his teaser, Sehun starts to run away, indicating that some source of evil is about to arrive. In Kai and Baekhyun's teasers, we can see that both of them are being pursued by someone or something. At the end of his teaser, it appears that Baekhyun is caught by whatever was chasing him, which I'm guessing was an agent of the Red Force. He's the only one to get captured out of the 10, which leads me to think he was the first person that the Red Force experimented on to create a clone.
Oh no. Overdose. Okay.
Okay, so there's a bit of a
Jesus.
disconnect here, so I'm not really sure how they got to the maze and Overdose. I think that either the members were eventually captured by the Red Force and sent into the maze, or they realized that something happened to Baekhyun and, having conducted research, decided to willingly enter.
You know, it's kind of crazy how, like, they probably got captured by the Red Force, but nothing in this is red. That's weird. It's very weird.
We see that all of them are separated as they enter and are trying to escape. Dio finds a black box floating above him, but when he looks to open it, he sees flashes of hands against a white box, which almost look like the ones in Tempo's music video. I think this is a warning as to what's going to happen once they reach the center of the maze. However, the members keep going, and at the end, we see Kai in EXO-K's version and Luhan in EXO-M's version finding their way to a point near the center. I think that the place they reached is the Red Force's lab, where Baekhyun is already being held, which brings us to our next 3 videos.
Bro, this cool as hell. Coco Bop. Please explain this.
Okay, I feel like Coco Bop, Tempo, and Lucky One are all kind of happening at the same time, but I'm gonna try breaking it down by video. I think Coco Bop represents EXO being experimented upon by the Red Force. Somehow, I think their powers were dampened inside the maze.
That's probably why Kai did hair. Let me stop.
And thus, each of the members were unable to defend themselves. I think the pills that we see some of the members take at the beginning of the music video represent some sort of hallucinogenic drug that the Red Force injected into them in order to prevent them from waking up too early. We see all the members looking lethargic and a bit disoriented throughout the music video. All of them except for Baekhyun.
Bruh.
Somehow, I think the Red Force was able to insert clone Baekhyun into their hallucinations instead of the real one, who they had already finished experimenting upon.
That's what I'm saying, bro. This nigga Bacon is always like, he's always like the normal one, or he's always there. The Red Force got his ass, and he made him the agent. Has to be. It has to be, right?
So that they would trust the simulation more.
Yeah.
There are certain editing clues that indicate that what they're experiencing in Coco Bop isn't real. We see flashes of lights appearing throughout the video, and the editing style with certain colors looks very similar to some of the colors that appear at the end of Lucky One.
Tempo. I love this song. This song is amazing.
While the real EXO are trapped inside the labs, represented by the silhouettes inside the white boxes, the EXO clones are being tested outside. We see EXO, the clones, appearing to be scanned in front of red boxes.
There's the
We
red.
also see certain parts of the set look like they're glitching, similar to parts of the Coco Bop music video. Time seems to be really warped in this area as the clocks are going crazy, indicating that time is still probably warped because EXO haven't reunited on EXO Planet, which is necessary to restore order. There's a flickering man walking through the sets, which probably symbolizes the formation of each clone. The man first morphs into Baekhyun,
Daft Punk.
symbolizing that he was the first one to be converted, and he's seen above the members in a few spots. We see many of the clones toying around with white cubes in one form or another. We see Suho holding a white cube, Shumin and Do are playing what looks like chess but with clear white pieces, until they end up assembling a cube together. Sehun's drink has ice cubes in it, which start to glow once the cube is assembled.
That's one fat ass cube.
And a cube in front of Chanyeol and Chen starts to emit a green light. I think this green light means that EXO finally passed some sort of test, and we're now free to carry out the mission outside of the overdose maze and the Red Force's lab. I think it's around this point that EXO start to regain their consciousness, but the members of EXO leave on their motorcycles before the real EXO can escape. However, at the end of the video, one of the members, I think it's Baekhyun because of his outfit, walks back to the set with a glowing white cube in his hands.
Bruh,
I think that the clear white cubes symbolize EXO while red represents EXO. I'm not exactly sure what the glowing at the end meant, but I do feel like it has something to do with allowing the real EXO to escape. One final thing to notice in this music video, out of the 9 members standing towards the end of it, the only one who doesn't glitch is Do. I think that means that he is the only one who hasn't been completely influenced by the Red Force to do their bidding,
okay.
but is rather playing along to try to free the real EXO.
Okay. Bro, this shit cool as hell.
In Lucky One, we see the real EXO regaining their powers and breaking out from the Red Force's lab. We see a little bit of the cloning process taking place. I feel like in the video, when it pans back and forth between Do robotically singing to an image of him struggling, that's actually 2 different versions of him, one being the clone.
Okay.
We then see some cuts between the otherwise fluid shots, with some of the members being trapped inside white boxes pounding against the glass, which looks similar to the silhouettes from Tempo.
Bro, I'd be mad if I'm a clone, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, why I gotta be a clone? Like, if I'm dead ass a clone, I'm not no damn clone. I can tell. But like, if I'm a clone, fool, you know how mad I'd be? I'd be like, dang, bro, what happened? Can I get another chance to unclone myself? Like, damn, I don't even get to choose nothing.
We see Lei being wheeled out, but I think that's just his clone. And all the other members' clones are also wheeled out, but we just don't see it on screen. We then see imagery of some of the members floating in space, with the moon, Earth, and asteroids appearing. I think this represents EXO starting to regain their consciousness, and we see 2 hands dropping what looks like glowing ice cubes, again demonstrating that connection between what's happening inside the lab and what's going on outside with Tempo.
Plus dancing.
Dio is the first one to regain his powers, which is what I think makes the others also snap back into focus. For the rest of the music video,
That makes sense.
we see the real EXO breaking out of the lab using their powers, but I think that the Red Force was anticipating for that to happen. The nurses acting on behalf of the Red Force seem to explode almost immediately after they use their powers, and they don't put much of a fight up. At the very end of the video, we see that EXO has broken out of the lab and are in the maze again. But 4 of the ladies have been monitoring their movements from a screen the entire time. I think they realized that in order for the clones to truly develop EXO's power, the real EXO had to be freed and defeated at their hands under certain circumstances. I think those circumstances are again another eclipse, but EXO and XXO had to actually be on the exoplanets in order for this power transfer to permanently take place. Like the Mama and Power music videos said, in order for the Red Force to be purified, EXO would have to reunite under the same sky on the same ground, allowing the Red Force to take over the 2 split planets with darkness. I think this is the last music video where we've seen the real EXO, so let's see what's going on with XXO.
Let's go. Love Shot. Ooh.
I think Love Shot is the setup for Lotto's music video. We see a full moon at the beginning of the music video, but as it progresses, the moon seems to be getting smaller and smaller. There's a ton of red imagery in the music video, indicating again that these are agents of the Red Force, all except for Dio. We see both Dio and Suho with red cubes, but unlike Suho, Dio pours out the red liquid in his, indicating that his loyalty may not be with the Red Force. We also get more shots of Baekhyun being physically above other members, indicating that he's the ringleader of this operation. I think robbing the bank allows the clones to have the money they need for the next phase of their operation.
You always need money.
Which is Lotto.
There we go. Connections. We like that. Okay.
In Lotto, we see the clones doing a lot of shady stuff, like gambling and burning money.
So the clones have become conscious. Singularity. Oh, okay.
We see Dio recording all of the members performing these illicit activities while sitting atop a cage. Ultimately, their activities are compromised, and a SWAT team finds them and attacks them, subsequently capturing them. The music video makes it look like the girl they had tried to save sold them out, but I actually think all of this was a setup. At the end of the music video, we see Chanyeol hand the girl a tape as she walks away with an officer, which is presumably the recording that Dio took of them.
Oh.
I think that this tape is meant to make the real EXO look bad, which is supposed to prevent them from coming back to Earth.
This is... Okay, I'm starting to get confused.
During their previous times on Earth, they tried very hard to keep their identity mask, likely to prevent themselves from being feared by others or even persecuted for being different. If the tape is spread, then it could completely destroy their image in their eyes of the public, making it nearly impossible for them to hide on Earth.
But at the same time, you're right. That does make sense. But still, like, the clones wouldn't be able... All right.
And forcing them to return to Exoplanet. One more important thing to note about this music video, neither Baekhyun nor Dio appear to be on that tape. I feel like Dio took the role of filming them in order to prevent himself from looking suspicious to others while still seeming like he was contributing to the agenda of the Red Force. As for Baekhyun, he really doesn't show up in the actual set of the gambling ring.
He never does.
Except for one time when he's sitting on top of the cage without any of the members nearby. My guess is that Baekhyun, trying to gain the trust of the SWAT team, was the only one who made the initial call that caused EXO to be arrested. It was only once the girl ran away with Chanyeol that the girl made another call, giving away their location as they were running away.
Oh my god.
This is what will enable Baekhyun to save the other members in the monster music video.
All right.
I think Monster is the last music video we've seen leading up to this comeback. We see how some of the members are being tortured, but seem unable to fight back against their oppressors. Again, this is
Damn.
probably because the clones don't have EXO's powers, and if they do, they haven't figured out how to use them properly. We see 8 of the members being forced into a truck, but at the end, it's revealed that Baekhyun was driving the truck, and he turns off the security cameras to free them. Throughout the majority of the music video, Baekhyun is seen separately from the rest of EXO, likely because he's trying to trick their oppressors into thinking that he's on their side. By the way, when I say EXO, I still do mean XXO. I know it's confusing.
I got you.
The plot in Lotto was meant to raise suspicion for the real EXO, and having the clones escape would make the real EXO seem even more dangerous, since nobody else knows about the existence of these clones. We see the members walking away at the end,
I know that
likely
shit hurt.
getting ready to take over Exoplanet in time for the eclipse.
All right, other MVs.
There are a couple of music videos I didn't mention here, not because I didn't think they were connected to EXO's universe, but rather because I felt they weren't integral pieces to the storyline. For example, with Love Me Right, I think that this video takes place on a completely different planet, as evidenced by a clip from EXO's Power music video.
Like side missions?
I'm sure I could find some connection for it into this plot, but I didn't want to feel like I was forcing these videos in.
Obsession. I don't think so.
So, what does all of this mean for EXO and
That's
Obsession?
cool.
Well, let's start with what we know.
I don't think
EXO
so.
released the first teaser for this comeback with shots of XXO.
Mm-hmm.
The video was released with the hashtag EXO2. De means two in French, so this means that we will be seeing 2 EXOs in this comeback. We also saw a stone with 9 members' powers, but only 6 were glowing, meaning that Chumin, Lei, and Dio won't be a part of this comeback.
Damn.
We also see 2 different styles of lettering in this video, one for EXO and one for XXO. There are a couple of nods to their previous videos. For example, we see the crystal from History, but this time it might have something to do with the creation of XXO rather than the real EXO. We also see the Tree of Life become barren, indicating that the red force is exerting more influence over it.
Ooh.
We see a burning red sun, which is what the Power music video prophesized would happen, as the red force spread darkness across the land. At the very end, we see what looks like the real Sehun getting ready to fight, by practicing to shoot something.
Got a crossbow?
It then says, "Let the fight begin," meaning that the two will likely meet in battle. I think this will be able to happen because it looks like another eclipse is about to take place. We see flashes of the moon's phases but in reverse order, indicating that time is still warped. EXO also opened up new accounts on Instagram and Twitter for their clones, which have been releasing different teaser images.
Oh, that's cool
It
as
seems
hell,
pretty evident
son.
that a major plot point in EXO's storyline will happen here, but I don't think this is the end of the story. I don't know if it's certain that the real EXO will win, and if they do, I have a feeling it won't be the last of XXO that we'll see. Overall, I'm super excited for this comeback.
Well, this sounds
The
cool.
promotions so far have been some of the best EXO has ever gotten,
Ooh.
and the concept seems like something they've been building up to for a while.
I don't think so.
Thank you for watching,
think
and
so.
let me know
I don't
what
think so.
theories you have.
Hey, Slim, hey, bro, this was cool as hell. Hey, Yeri, you did that shit. Hold on. Is there a part 2? There probably isn't a part 2. There's not a part 2. Damn. Hey, bro, this is cool. Nah, this so bad cool, bro. Yo, you smart as hell. Oh, nah. See, you know what this calls for? This calls for a discography stream. Huh. I think I should do that. Hey, that dope. Nah, that shit cool. This came out in 2019. That literally means there's like, what, 4 years of more things that could probably be put into here? But I know they got it like that. Nah, that's tough. That's tough.